Okay.
Oh,
Elder. Oh my God, they put Elder Ring.
I told y'all that DLC was gonna get.
All right, best
they
fighting
always do
game.
that.
Best fighting game.
All right, let's see.
Let's go.
Mm.
Rising counts. Okay. Marvel. Yo.
Marvel might win now.
Moti's back. And Tekken. Let's go. Now it's funny. I knew this was gonna happen because I gonna see it on Twitter. People are either gonna be like, yo, Sparking Zero deserves the win or it deserves to go away because the number dropped off completely. So this got me asking, is it a possibility that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero can win Fighting Game of the Year again? People that don't know, back in the day, Dragon Ball had claimed the Spike Awards, which was essentially the big game awards back then, for Budokai Tenkaichi 2 or 3. So my big question here is like, let's look at Sparking for what it is, the package we currently have, and see if it's Game of the Year or Fighting Game of the Year worthy. But I ain't gonna tell y'all in the video. I'm gonna just be very fair on what I think is the honest answer for Fighting Game of the Year right there. But I'm gonna do something different in this video. Y'all that are watching this video to comment down below after I tell and break down each game currently 10 months into the year or whatever, how they're received, and give me your thoughts on the game. I'm saving my answer because I am doing my own The Fighting Game Awards the day before the Game Awards happens. It'll be a long award show, probably like 40 to 50 minutes almost, maybe 30. Of everybody in the FGC and many other figures talking about the year of fighting games. So let's run it down, let's talk about it, let's get into it. Sparking Zero as a package is actually a really solid game already. We have story mode, we have online, and we do have training mode. However, even though I think the training mode's not perfect for modern fighting game standards, I do think it's a huge step forward for arena fighter standards. The biggest thing that is missing from the Sparking Zero training mode is the fact that I can't record my CPU to do certain actions or movements. That is something that all arena fighters need to learn how to do. Simply, I'll show an example from Street Fighter 6 where I can record the other characters' movements and then train with them so I can figure out the best solution to solve things. However, in Sparking Zero, the training mode is similarly peak for the simple fact that we do have more ways to pick specific actions and moves to tell the characters to do those things, so you can practice against specific scenarios. I think it'll be harder to program like doing specific strings and stuff like that because arena fighters don't really work in that way, but I still want it, don't get it twisted. The only losing factor to Sparking Zero compared to every other fighting game this year is that it does not have rollback netcode. Tekken, Rivals of Aether 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, they all have rollback netcode. Sparking netcode is delay based. However, the netcode, you can play matches cross region really well with this netcode. It's the better tier of delay based netcode we usually get for games that don't have it. Not defending it because I'm docking points off of it because it don't got rollback anyway. They need to start just adding that shit. I'm just saying the online is way more serviceable than delay base was 10 years ago. And my biggest complaint with most anime games is that they do not have lobbies. Well, Sparking Zero does have lobbies for once, and the lobbies are pretty eyed. They're not the best lobbies in fighting games, but they get the job done and I can spectate and just chill out a little bit. However, with a couple more quality of life changes, if they are going to do that in the future, which we are getting a patch in December, at least for game mechanics, it could be up there to Tekken standards and even more. Now, the truth about Sparking Zero, a lot of people are going to use the argument, wait, didn't 90% of people just quit the game? Okay, listen, every fighting game has a drop off after a month period of time. But like, let's use Tekken and let's use Sparking right now. If you look at both of those games, you'll think everybody hates both the games the same way. Like, don't get it twisted, Tekken 8 and Sparking Zero both sold the amount so far. I think it's at 3 million for both games right now. Both of those games are going to grow and get bigger as time goes on, at least from a sales type of thing. And remind you, we haven't even got DLC yet for Sparking Zero. We know it's coming, but we ain't got it yet. Sparking Zero community is complaining about the game being cheesy 24/7 and frustrating. Tekken community don't even know if they really like that game. You got people complaining about Tekken 8 and they saying we should go back to Tekken 7. There's people running lobbies with no heat. Like, don't play with heat or you're getting kicked out. Y'all not even playing the game as the way it's supposed to be played. Then y'all got monetization issues. Every time Tekken drops a huge update, there's some big controversy about the stages or the world tour, something about it. So in a community ingrained perspective, they both have problems, just in different areas. And then there's multiverses. Sadly, I can't put multiverses up here because there was parts of the time where I was gonna drop the game, and season 1, season 2 was god awful. If we were taking season 4 into account now, the game is in a way better state. However, the general mass is already writing off the game like this is Mortal Kombat 1. And sadly, first impressions are everything. Even though I know products and video games have the chance to get better from their base state, a lot of people ain't going for that. And then there's the beautiful Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I'll be honest with you, that is a game that is a remaster, remake, or something of the sort. However, the Game Awards did come out and say that remasters, remakes are allowed. Game Awards says, are DLC expansion packs and remakes remasters eligible? The Game Award aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of the content's release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories. If the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination, factors such as newness of the content and its price value should be taken into consideration. So taking that in mind, we still can use some things that can help out here, just letting you know. 2 games that can be on the Game Awards list. Mortal Kombat 1 Combat Reigns, which honestly the DLC for that game is pretty outstanding, and you get 2 additional characters and still more characters coming out for it as well. And then there's Street Fighter 6 Season 2. And you know Street Fighter 6 Season 2 dropped with the boy Terry. Are you okay after me saying that? Because I love Terry. I feel bad that I'm not covering Street Fighter right now because like just so much cool shit happening in fighting games, man. I just love it all. But Terry is literally like, if I'm gonna compete next year, it's probably gonna be Street Fighter unless Tekken 8 announces Tifa. My big criticism of Tekken 8, the hype died in terms of DLC. That is probably one of my least favorite DLCs I've ever seen in fighting game history, seasons passes. Like, let's be real. They gave us Eddie from Tekken 7. Lydia was at the end of Tekken 7, and now she's a second DLC character, which looks very lazy and cheap to some people, even though she's completely reworked and I understand how the game works. She should have been base, or they could have just delayed the game a little bit, but then they gave us Heihachi, another Mishima, and then if you don't like Mishimas, like personally, I'm not a Mishima person, but Jin, I really just like Jin Kasumi. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that is the worst DLC I've ever seen in the history of fighting games. I don't think there's nothing hyped from the season 1 of DLC unless you just generally like those characters. And then we cannot forget, I think the most craziest announcement this year in fighting games has to go to Guilty Gear Strive. Alright, their DLC is kind of broken if you're a weeb, because having Cyberpunk be in your game as a fighting game character is insane to me. Even if it ain't David, it's still Lucy, and it's one of the peak things, one of the best things from previous years, animation wise and entertainment wise. I personally think it deserves a nomination and it can win. However, there's some things about the gameplay that can be too tedious depending on who you ask to play it. While 90% of the people quit the game, I'm one of the 10% that still turns it on here now and then and still can have some fun with it, even with the BS and stuff in between. But for once, one thing I could give Sparking Zero as a fighting game if it does win is that it is a complete strong package. It ain't the perfect one compared to some of the games in this thing, but I want to say I do think Sparking Zero getting nominated is well deserved. It is one of the most highly anticipated fighting games for 17 years, and you can't take that away from it. Even the sales reflected in fucking 24 hours. If you don't agree with it being nominated, that's cool, but like, hey man, it is one of the biggest fighting games of 2024. But I'm gonna tell you who I think is the winner of the Game Awards and who's probably gonna win it this year. It's so obvious. Y'all gotta wait till December 11th on this channel, man, because I'm gonna tell you what I believe is the best fighting game of this channel. I am running my own little show. I'm gonna try to do it yearly, and it's gonna evolve as time goes on. So I'm not expecting this to be perfect, but I'm expecting it to be fun. So comment down below. Tell me if you think Sparking Zero deserves this nomination. But remember, you guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.
stronger.